You know how much I hate this hocus-pocus nonsense, Faustus. Now you want to tell me just what the hell is so important?
Sleeping Mother, Sacred Harbinger, awaken and reclaim what is yours. You who rise with the moon in darkness, who prepares the path for the midnight sun. Turn your merciless eyes upon us, and arise!
Nice show, Doc. Next time, call Seymour. Better yet, I'll just shoot you and save us all the trouble.
I can feel it, Rox. Trouble in the air. More innocent blood joining you soon. Head back to your magic castle. You ain't welcome here.
It's called a sanctum. And welcome or not, this is where fate has determined the Sorcerer Supreme needs to be.
Tell fate. Answers no.
This is the secret guardian you dragged me 5,000 miles to meet?
Who's the mouth?
Mr. Stark is brash, but I assure you, he can be trusted.
Wait, you seriously don't know who I am?
The fabric of magic is shifting, Johnny. The prophecy of the Midnight Sun is upon us.
Your last crusade cost me plenty. This time I intend to look after my own.
Hey pal, I don't think you understand. Things are changing. 2 + 2 no longer equals 4. Up is sometimes down, and strange here is actually starting to make sense.
Do I look like someone who gives a damn about any of that?
No, you look like you should be bouncing for the double deuce. Listen, all I know is hell's coming, and my pal here says you can help.
That's where you're wrong. Hell's not coming. It's already here. You're welcome, Robo-Man.
Iron Man? It's okay. It's fine. I know what he meant.
We come all the way out here, and the old man runs off with that precious page of yours. At least left us some VIP passes for the carnival. Maybe blown up a few monsters on the way out.
Johnny Blaze has sacrificed a great deal for this world already. I am certain he will come around given time.
Thought you said time was the one thing we didn't have. All right, let's just wrap this up. I think I've got sand in my nanopolymer weave. Iron Man does whatever an Iron Man can. Get it done any way we know how.
Impressive.
This shouldn't take long.
Interesting tactic.
Am I really gonna have to bring out the big guns for this?
Had I known this was the plan, I would have conjured a stand-in of some sort.
Why not?
Not bad. Not great, but not bad. Huh. Do you really believe that will be enough? That suit may be a marvel of technology, but it's no match for the mystic arts. Allow me to demonstrate.
Oh, so it's a contest now. Then you take the extra creepy one.
Gladly. go. I truly doubt they're paying you enough for what's about to happen.
Here we go. Hey, the jerk store called. They're running low on you guys.
Apparently our reputation isn't enough to scare off these so-called children of Lilith.
Who's running the show here?
Now that I have their attention, perhaps a blessing is in order. Something protective?
Well, I could give you a hand, or a shield in this case.
In the spirit of cooperation, I'll accept your offer. Just this once.
Don't mention it.
You've done me a great favor. Let's try this. You've been deceived by Lilith, and it may very well cost you your life. A moment of preparation. This is no trifling matter. We're not quite ready to give up just yet. Shall we get on with it?
I think we pissed them off. Got a spell for that, maybe?
Interesting. A spell to change the very demeanor of our enemies. Something along the lines of the psionic manipulations of Eros of Titan?
If you can't make it happen in the next 10 seconds, I'm not interested. This should be good. They don't all have to be pretty. That'll work.
for you.
I know that wasn't your signature move. And while you ponder arrows, maybe we should just try throwing a big rock at him?
Follow my book. Watch and learn, my friend. If I'm being honest, that encounter went better than I expected.
Tony, I've been noticing a recurring gamma spike.
You see, this is why you shouldn't eat spicy food, Bruce.
Localized in the West Village, converging on the Sanctum.
Wanda.
The collective works of the universe's greatest sorcerers, and he left them underneath the takeout menus.
Shifting mystical polarities are wreaking havoc on my portals.
You don't say. You okay, kid?
Yes. Are you?
Let's, put a pin in that. Carol.
Bruce and I have been trying to reach you. He'd have come himself, but he's...
You did the big green guy proud.
I really should up my homeowner's insurance. Miss Maximoff, the wards of protection, if you please.
Stephen, I can fight. I've got control now.
Then show me by activating the wards. In the meantime, in honor of our missing companion, the rest of you may feel free to smash away.
Hydra Immortalis!
Ready to smack around a few red shirts? Nice one, Carol. Always the direct approach.
You know I don't mess around. Besides, we picked up some crazy gamma readings coming from, well, here. Guessing that explains the Hydra goons and ominous green lights.
Yes, but not while you fail to use the front door.
Hi, how about we discuss proper hero landing etiquette after we take down the bad guys?
told me I'm special.
on target.
for me, I'd have to fire you for slacking.
Targets are forward.
just gonna stand around, I'm gonna start charging by the hour.
Faustus fight these guys.
left. This is taking forever. Anybody see a cart around here?
Watch closely. I'm skeptical of your chances, but stranger things have happened.
Do it. Does Hydra even pay you enough to cover your medical bills?
Watch and learn. Seems like it'd be cheaper just to replace you guys with robots. Bet Tony would cut Faustus a deal. Hostile reinforcements inbound. I should be used to this by now.
Davenport was at least a century old. What a waste. Prepare yourselves. Lilith doesn't care about you. I hope you realize that in time.
Here we go.
Love the effort.
Let me show you the way. the studio.
Marvel for reinforcing.
Let's not waste any more time.
How do these guys just keep showing up?
They are surprisingly relentless. In any event, we must provide Wanda the time she needs to activate the wards of protection.
Save this one just for you! What did we learn today?
I'm saving my energy till you need it. Precisely what I needed.
Let's do it!
That's the spirit.
This should be good.
That was really something.
The wards. Something's blocking them.
Not something. Someone.
Gozer?
Lilith. Mother of demons, harbinger of the midnight sun. Prophecy or not, you overstep. Challenging the Sorcerer Supreme.
Be silent. Be still.
What just happened?
Be gone. No! A fellow daughter of Transia. You remind me of my own beloved.
In virtute vishanti. Well done, Miss Maximoff. Your unique energy surprised her.
Whoa! I'm fine. What? I'm fine.
The prophecy is in motion. Lilith is still out there growing stronger each second the midnight sun approaches.
Define stronger.
If we are to have any chance of stopping her, there is only one option left to us.
I won't go back there.
We all must eventually face our demons, Miss Maximoff. However, one of us should remain behind to maintain the wards of protection.
See you on the other side. Okay, you did that one on purpose.
The fabric of magic is unwinding. We are fortunate to be here at all.
And where is here, exactly?
Salem, Massachusetts. Well, a pocket dimension in Salem, Massachusetts.
Oh, suburbs. Nice.
Welcome to the Abbey. Home of the
Midnight Sun.
The hell is this?
Lilith's Junior Demon League?
Wait, it's that jerk from TV.
Which one?
Now, if everyone would just take a moment...
Enough!
You're standing on my flowers.
Oh, been a long time, Sarah.
It's caretaker now.
If I could have avoided this moment, I would, but...
Oh, spare me the speech. I know Lilith's back. We're sisters after all.
Guess we're suddenly invisible now.
Shall we chat, Stephen?
No one can argue that the Hunter earned their rest in the first battle against Lilith. I only hope they are up for the task once more.
You wizards always make everything sound so lofty. I raised my sister's only child as a weapon against her.
And saved the world in the process.
Now you want me to dig them up and ask them to do it again.
I did not write the prophecy, Sarah. Besides, I am no common grave robber. We are simply reuniting their ethereal essence with their corporal form. Speaking of, it would help to have a mental image for the procedure. Spare no detail. Spiritual identity theft is no laughing matter.
into darkness. You who tame the night. Hear the voice of those who beseech thee and...
The caller! Wait! Wait! Ah!
Mother. So, that's a good thing, right?
As far as resurrection spells are concerned, I've seen worse. Particularly on myself.
Tony, come on. It's perfectly safe.
That thing wakes up and takes a bite out of you. Don't blame me.
Visiting hours are over.
You can't stay here forever.
There's nowhere else I should be.
Just saw that Stark guy poking around behind the mirror table.
Find me as soon as they awaken. And Blade, be nice.
Always am.
So cold, but the air burns with every breath. Has it been so long? I know this place. In my dreams, it was always empty. But now I sense I am not alone.
Have to admit, Hunter, you make one hell of an entrance. Guess that makes two of us.
You should have struck when you had the chance, vampire. You will not live to regret your error.
Cute, and Caretaker told me to be nice. Relax, Slayer. I'm a friend. You just don't know it yet.
Yes. I saw you with Sarah before. But what would she want with a vampire? Unless...
The name's Blade, and I'm no ordinary vampire. I get you've been out of commission, but I thought you noticed since we're having this little showdown under the freaking sun.
A Dhampir? Daywalkers were a myth even to me.
Says the half-human, half-demon monster.
I do. And last I checked, vampires are monsters.
You want to take a run at me? You can try it. But I got... I've probably killed more vampires than you.
Such fighting spirit. No wonder Caretaker chose...
Right. As much as I'd love to see how much weirder this conversation can go, we should
Agreed. The prophecy is in motion. I can feel it. We have wasted...
Man, the others are really...
Others?
Yeah, you've got a little fan club, I think. But why spoil this? Hope you're up for the challenge, chosen one.
Did I miss something? Or did Nico just raise the dead?
I definitely helped, but no, that's the one thing I can't do.
You were never able to raise the dead.
Huh? But she just did.
Maybe the hunter wasn't all dead.
Some part of them had to be alive, otherwise my spell wouldn't have done anything. Which makes sense, I guess.
Sounds like a reach to me.
Huh, coming from a vampire who loves to sunbathe at the pool.
Half vampire.
Half-dead hunter.
Either way, wouldn't count on that working again.
Yes, we know.
Just trying to help.
How? By keeping an eye on things out here while the big wigs decide the fate of the world inside?
Someone has to babysit the kiddie table.
Babysitting or not, you realize they still have you out here with the kiddies, right?
Oof, ouch.
Konnichiwa, friendo.
What's up, Hunter?
Fine, speak.
You just keep getting tougher. You'll show him.
Man, I just wish I could have brought my brother Gabe along. He'd love this place.
Yes?
Hunter. Guess I can put away the garlic. Won't do much good against Hydra. Even legends gotta crawl before they can walk.
Hunter. Not sure if you remember me, but we met briefly before. I'm...
The witch who called me back from the grave.
Told ya.
Or Nico, but either works. And this is...
Robbie Reyes. Oh man, never thought I'd be standing next to you. Got quite a rep. I mean, caretakers told us stories.
That's Ileana.
Привет.
And I think you already met Blade.
Of course. Caretaker has reformed the Midnight Suns.
Whoa. How did you...
Your power. I can feel it. I always do.
So, welcome home. I guess
I never left.
Right. Well, we can fast forward through the tour then. The Abbey is still, well, you know, the Abbey. Basic stuff. Dorms, war room, library, a few places to chill, and, whatever the hell the Forge is. Have to say, for a haunted transient castle raised on the cursed grounds of Old Salem, it's pretty cozy. Of course, that doesn't stop us from adding some improvements. We can all thank Robbie for the Wi-Fi. Oh, and one more thing. We've got some new house guests now. You think we're a fun bunch, just wait until you meet them. Speaking of, we're here.
Yeah, okay. Spend 10 minutes in this place alone, Bruce, then see. Oh, gotta go. Show's about to begin.
There isn't time for a refresher, much less that sort of training regime. You have to trust that the hunter's past experience is enough.
So, crazy day, huh?
Crazy indeed.
Lots of new blood around here. Some seriously powerful headliners.
Powerful, yes. But how powerful, we will see.
Big personalities, too.
I think you mean big egos.
But none of that matters unless they can help us get to Wanda.
So that was Lilith, huh? She has a real 90s album cover vibe.
1690s, maybe. Hard to believe she's the hunter's mother.
Resemblance dwindles when one is twisted by Chthon's power.
Whose power?
Chthon, the Elder God.
Is Chthon the elder god of metal bands?
No.
Tony, read your briefings.
Relax, I'm just spinning him up.
You think now's really the time for that? I nearly broke my hand on Lilith's face. She didn't even flinch.
The more dangerous the foe, the funnier I get.
That's debatable.
You following me, Doc? Maybe you should go introduce yourself to the young'uns.
I'm sure they know of the Sorcerer Supreme, and I wasn't following you.
How long have you two been sharing a room now? A day?
Oh, I don't know. What do you say, Doc? 6, 7 hours?
6 hours, 43 minutes, 8 seconds. And counting.
Wow. And you're already bouncing off each other like an old married couple.
Careful now, you're gonna make his cape jealous.
It's a cloak, not a cape, and it definitely wouldn't be jealous of you.
I'm calling it now. You two are gonna be best friends before this thing is over.
You should probably go talk to Caretaker. I think she's already got plans for your first mission.
Taking a big risk with your chosen one.
You act as if I'm thrilled with the situation. If you're concerned, then be all the more vigilant out there.
Easy for you to say.
Nothing about any of this is easy, Blade.
Yeah? Tell that to Wanda. The table is all yours. Let's get to it.
Things are likely to get pretty hectic around here, kiddo. Just like the old days. Take some time to adjust while you can.
Welcome to the War Room, Hunter.
What's happening, Hunter?
A week ago, this place was like a tomb. A nice, quiet tomb full of things that knew how to mind their own business. And now it's a superhero frat house. And someone used all the hot water this morning.
Just gearing up for ye old apocalypse, Hunter. Should have the world saved in less than a fortnight.
I must admit, Hunter, having studied the tomes and read of your exploits in the past, it had never occurred to me that we might someday face Lilith together.
The last thing I thought I'd be doing this morning was bashing Hydra heads across the Sanctum Sanctorum. I am so glad I decided to wash my hero pants last night.
The table is all yours. Let's get to it.
Why, hello, Hunter.
Let me guess. Blade gave you his welcome speech on the way in. You should have heard mine. Still have it somewhere on my phone, I think.
The hunter stalks its prey.
You're looking well, Hunter.
Well met.
The legend walks among us.
Hunter?
Just remember, if it came down to it, your blood would make a mighty fine vintage. If I were you, I'd probably be looking for a hot shower after spending 300 years in a tomb. Let's see how long you stay above ground this time. Just remember, if it came down to it, your blood would make a mighty fine vintage.
I'm almost getting used to seeing you on your feet again. Almost. You might see a few familiar faces around the Abbey, but mostly you'll find a lot of powerful strangers wondering just what they've gotten themselves into. Just be yourself, and you'll be fine. I wish we could get you settled in, but things are already pretty hectic around here, kiddo. Starting to feel like the old days again, which we both know is not a good thing. You know I wouldn't have woken you if it wasn't serious. We'll have time to catch up later. I kept your old room just the way you left it. Your old room should be just as comfortable as it used to be. But if not, let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you. I wish we could get you settled in, but things are already pretty hectic around here, kiddo. Starting to feel like the old days again, which we both know is not a good thing.
I too was recruited as a child into a calling of power and violence. So far, it has worked out well for me. At least they don't have me stationed in some musty old dungeon like Strange and Stark. I too was recruited as a child into a calling of power and violence. So far, it has worked out well for me.
How's it going? With all these big names in here, maybe we should sell tickets. Ooh, could finally upgrade the TV to 4K. I wonder if you ever ran into any of my predecessors back in the day. We, tend to stand out. I wonder if you ever ran into any of my predecessors back in the day. We, tend to stand out.
Oh, hey. I mean, technically you were here first, but don't expect any special treatment. Caretaker will have you mopping the floors and hauling trash whether you're 2 or 200. Caretaker's home for wayward sorcerers, scientists, and slayers. Sounds like something Doctor Strange would come up with. Caretaker's home for wayward sorcerers, scientists, and slayers. Sounds like something Doctor Strange would come up with.
Did someone give you a cup of coffee at least? I know I'm useless in the morning without a little boost. We could probably have one of these witches or warlocks magic you over a barista. No signs of muscle atrophy. You seem pretty healthy for a reanimated corpse. You sure you're not a time-traveling robot? No signs of muscle atrophy. You seem pretty healthy for a reanimated corpse. You sure you're not a time-traveling robot?
It's almost impossible to imagine the horror, the atrocities committed on these grounds all those years ago. Then again, we are less than 20 miles from Fenway Park. I give it about 5 minutes before Tony starts in with his ye old joke material. Sorry, Hunter. Never should have taken him to medieval times. It's almost impossible to imagine the horror, the atrocities committed on these grounds all those years ago.
I imagine Caretaker will have a hard time putting you at risk so soon after your awakening, but I doubt Lilith will leave her much of a choice. Unfortunately, time is of the essence, otherwise I'd gladly offer to walk you through some of the more pivotal events that have changed the world since you last saw it. Unfortunately, time is of the essence of...
Prophecies be damned. It's good to see that face again. You look like it was yesterday.
And you look... older. How long was I in that crypt, Sarah?
No more than a few centuries. You were... missed.
Centuries? And what of Lilith?
Fallen by your hand. Until now.
Yeah, so speaking of Lilith...
Tony?
What? The kid's literally speaking of Lilith.
Tony.
That's my name.
Tony. That's, Carol and Dr. Spooky over there. Here to help.
Help with what, exactly?
Oh, I don't know. Throwing the magic amulet into the volcano? Smiting the Dragon Mother? You tell us, kid. You are the chosen one, after all.
Do you recall anything of that last encounter, child?
There was a voice. The rest is hazy.
Oh, a voice. That's it? A voice? That's what we have to go on?
Results of your long crypt sleep, most likely.
A minor inconvenience. Everything required to restore those memories is contained within my sanctum. I will simply alert Wanda to prepare the necessary rituals.
What? Straight to voicemail?
Some Sorcerer Supreme.
Must be mystical interference caused by this little pocket dimension of yours.
Perhaps Agatha can help.
Allow me. Alato.
Whoa, what kind of network you running there?
The all-seeing eye of Ereshkigal who judges, bound to enchanted Babylonian soul glass.
We just call it the mirror table.
Wanda! Dark force, pushing against the wards. Stephen, where are you?
That's impossible. Nothing on Earth could possibly affect those wards.
Wanda's in trouble.
Wanda is troubled.
I'll go.
You'll need my help, of course.
Then let us make haste, Dr. Spooky. Our hunt begins now.
The table is all yours. Let's get to it.
¿Qué pasa, Hunter?
Good day, Hunter. Your old room should be just as comfortable as it used to be.
If I were you, I'd probably be looking for a hot shower after spending 300 years.
At least they don't have me stationed in some musty...
With all these big names in here, maybe we should...
I mean, technically you were here first, but don't expect any special treatment. Caretaker will have you mopping the floors and hauling trash whether you're...
Did someone give you a cup of coffee at least?
I imagine caretaker.
I give it about 5 minutes before Tony starts in with his ye old joke material. Sorry, Hunter. Never should have taken him to medieval times.
I imagine caretaker will have a hard time putting you at risk so soon after your awakening. But I doubt Lilith will leave her much of...
With everything going on right now, we sit...
Even given the fluctuations in the astral spectrum, I should be seeing something. Unless Bruce is right about gamma interference. If such a thing could even exist. The wards have been activated before, and I've never experienced such a reaction. Or perhaps I have simply erased that timeline so as not to affect my own destiny. I am quite efficient with my future and past selves in that regard. Salutations, Hunter. Are you ready? The prophecy of the Midnight Sun does not linger, and neither should we. Lilith possesses the Darkhold. If she forced her way into my Sanctum Sanctorum once, I suspect...
You are a Sorcerer Supreme.
Normally, yes. But since your mother breached the Sanctum, my sense of the future has grown volutinous in nature.
Is that another
Fuzzy. My predictions are... For the first time as Sorcerer Supreme, I cannot foresee how the future unfolds, and with my apprentice in danger...
I understand the urgency. Your apprentice is in grave danger.
Wanda is no mere apprentice. She is the Scarlet Witch, one of the strongest magical practitioners I have encountered. But she hasn't channeled such power on her own since... Never mind. I do not doubt Wanda's capability, but without my predictive acumen, I cannot bolster the wards should she need it. Still, the wards are woven into the sanctum's very essence. In any case, I suggest we make use of it while it's... Your power grows with each passing day, Hunter. Knowing how selective the Suns can be, I'm honored to have been given this opportunity to join them. Is there an official oath of some sort I should be taking, or is it just black leather and gruff attitudes? Now that I'm a member of the Suns, maybe I can convince Blade to tell me where he buys his sunglasses. The Sorcerer Supreme and a Midnight Sun. Quite an accomplishment, if I do say so myself. I suppose it was an inevitability, someone as strange as myself joining a group like the Midnight Suns. The Sorcerer Supreme and a Midnight Sun. Quite an accomplishment, if I do say so myself. We should hurry. As much as I'd love to hear a first-hand account of your exploits, Wanda can maintain the wards, I'm certain of that. But perhaps we shouldn't linger?
About time.
Not just about time, Mr. Brooks. Time, space, reality, the building blocks of magic. All must be constant for my portals to work properly, yet as we now know, that is no longer the case.
We've heard.
Several times.
Otherwise, I would still be hunting Dread Maidens in my sleep.
Indeed, and while I certainly appreciate the view of this vista, I fail to see how it will hasten our return to the Sanctum.
Magic is the answer.
No, as I've just stated, magic is the problem.
Your magic is... not ours. The ground you are standing on exists within two worlds. A mystical anchor point to Ileana's realm that allows her to... well, I'll just let her show you. I wish I were going with you. There's something about this that worries me.
I don't care what Strange says. I'm only going to the Sanctum to give Wanda some backup.
Wanda belongs here. Bring her back safe.
You may find things are a bit different in New York since the last time you saw it, Hunter. I can't help but feel a tinge of impatience. It is my home under siege, after all. I do hope we haven't already squandered what little time we had to our advantage. The power coming from behind this portal is tremendous. I am surprised this magic and I have never crossed paths before. At least at the bar with no doors. Things are moving quickly, aren't they, Hunter? I can only imagine how overwhelming this must be for you. The last time I saw a portal like this, Dormammu tried to lock me away in the dark dimension for all eternity. Or was it Morgan Le Fay? Hard to keep track after so many. The power coming from behind this portal is...
Don't let Blade fool you. He's just as eager to see what you can do out there as the rest of us.
If someone's messing with Wanda, they're about to have a real bad day.
I'll be keeping an eye on things from the war room. Make sure Wanda gets back here safely.
Just follow the path through Limbo, and get Wanda back here.
We're fortunate to have magic on our side. Without shortcuts through Limbo, I'm not sure how we'd ever keep up with Lilith.
All this space, and you're still running into me.
Just a century or two earlier, and I'd be right out there with you. I'll be keeping an eye on you from the mirror table. Don't worry, I won't embarrass you in front of your new friends. Don't let Blade fool you. He's just as...
This should be an easy warm-up for a legendary killer like yourself. New York is probably going to look a little different than you remember. I'm sure no one mentioned it, but the cape and tight crowd frown on killing the bad guys these days. I'd resist the urge if you can. This should be an easy warm-up for a legendary killer like yourself.
Things are moving quickly, aren't they, Hunter? I can only imagine how overwhelming this must be.
You have nothing to fear in Limbo. It's the quickest way to get to Wanda.
Strange sounds worried. I think we're in for some trouble.
Don't be distracted by the city. We need to know what's happening at the Sanctum quickly.
You are standing in Limbo. Nexus of all realities, both real or otherwise. A chaotic but secret realm, beyond the influence of Lilith. Thus far.
Are you certain of that? Because I am sensing all kinds of...
Dark energy. That feeling you're being watched. General hellhole vibe?
Yes.
All these potentialities converging at once? Truly surprising feat, Miss Rasputin. For someone so young, of course.
You think this is crazy? Wait until you see Manhattan.
From here, magic can open gateways to just about anywhere on our planet, and beyond. We don't want to risk punching through the wards protecting your sanctum, Doctor, so we've chosen a safe exit a few blocks over instead.
Couldn't be worse than the last time.
It was just a simple miscommunication.
Ocean Avenue. I said Ocean Avenue, Magic.
Well, at least we know the wards of protection are still in place.
For now.
I suggest we hurry.
I hesitate to call this good news, but I'm seeing minimal Hydra resistance between you and the Sanctum.
Looks can be deceiving, I'm afraid. There's no way these foot soldiers are behind the disruption of the wards of protection. My friends. Even the Mother of Demons is forced to rely upon hired hands occasionally.
Hell.
Time's up for these jumps.
All right, hero. Let's do this.
As a child, I feared the servants of Lilith. Now I teach them to fear me.
compromised.
Lucky shot.
Just wait until it's my turn.
Hydra doesn't know when to quit.
That gamma spike we detected in your area seems to be growing. Let's assume that's not a good thing.
Gamma or not, I feel the hand of my mother at work here. Weak, even for Hydra.
By the way, a gift from ancient traditions.
Watch close.
I'm impressed.
Get some. And I thought Man-Thing was ugly.
Misguided as they are, remember, Hydra is still human, Hunter. Not Lilin.
You were saying?
The lifeblood of the Mother pumps through our veins. The Mother is eternal. Hydra is eternal.
Wanna bet?
Weakening! Cannot let them fail!
Association is not going to like this.
Nope.
I'll handle it.
Not. We do not fear your magic, little wizard. We have answered the Mother's call. We are venom to all who oppose her. And you are large.
Well, that certainly escalated quickly. Do I even want to know what that beast is?
It calls itself Venom. Until now, a pale imitation of a very heroic young friend of mine.
We will feed your ugly tongue to the spider, wizard. marinate it in his stomach juices, and eat it with his spleen. Ought to make things interesting. Don't blink. Even the best can get better.
The endless search for wealth and power with just a tinge of fascism. Hydra will never change. This won't end well.
I saw a move like that once, centuries ago.
About time.
This will be
Lord, only more sticky.
Pain is angering. This house belongs to Mother, as you belong to us. We shall start with your juicy entrails, then slowly savor your delicious brains. Are the rest of your mother's children so chatty?
Thankfully, no. Now that was something.
doomsday. Not bad. Not great, but not bad.
You were too weak for this fight.
This is...
They haven't given up yet.
No escape from me, demon.
Hold up. We don't know what we're dealing with yet.
Being friendly. Seemed like you folks could use a hand, Doc.
Spider-Man!
Jeez, Eddie, what happened to you? That's part of a horrifyingly terrible new look. The tongue was gross enough, but whoa! Someone is extra touchy today.
We will rip your face off and suck the marrow from your bones!
Always nice to see you too, buddy. So, I'm thinking your friends here could use a little break. How about I take Eddie here for his afternoon walk? Don't worry, Doc. That's just his way of saying he cares!
Congratulations.
New world or not, some things remain unchanged.
The look.
What look?
Boldly charging headfirst into the jaws of your enemy. Courageously risking the lives of yourself and your teammates. Just to play the hero. This is the Fire Dragon all over again.
Fire Dragoon. My memories may be fragmented, but as I recall, I killed the bastard.
And all it cost was a village.
Of course. I see it now. The look.
Cut him some slack. It wasn't that simple.
It never is. Which is why I sent you to help. If Spider-Man hadn't come along today, we could have lost far more than
the Sanctum?
Or Wanda.
She means I could have died. Again, putting an end to her eternal crusade against my mother.
You've been through a lot. For It's enough that you all made it back in one piece. More or less. We'll talk more later. Get some rest.